In a major setback for Kerala nurse Nimisha Priya, Yemen President Rashad al-Alimi on Monday approved the death sentence for the nurse who has been convicted of murder and is likely to be executed in a month's time. Now, though Nimisha Priya's family was engaged in negotiations with the victim's family to secure a waiver of death penalty, the discussions headed nowhere and, in fact, no results were found. She was convicted for murder of Yemen's national Talal Abdo Mahdi. The incident occurred in 2017. Nimisha overdosed Mahdi with sedatives in order to obtain her passport from his possession. She was convicted in 2018. Meanwhile, the Indian government has said that they are extending all help to Priya's kids.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chandran. Are there any legal options left for Nimisha Priya at this point in time?
Yeah, of course, there are legal options. Legal options in Yemen, the Sharia law prevails. So, according to Sharia law, if the family is ready to give the pardon by receiving the diya money, so she can be saved her life from the execution. So this is, we understand, we spoke with some legal experts there. So we understand after Supreme Judicial Council's order, the final judgment, this is a formal procedure for giving the assent from the, getting the assent from the President of Yemen. So still, if the family is ready to accept the diya money and pardon her, her life will be saved. And we are trying to explore that. But having said that, now we are facing a challenge because according to the Yemen prevailing situation, we are unable to reach out there. We are unable to travel to Yemen. So we need the support from the government of India. Only the union can support us. And if the union is intervening and if union is means helping us to have the negotiation with the family, we, the Nimisha Priya International Action Council, is ready to pay whatever amount is demanded by the family for as diya money. So we request the Indian government, the union government, to immediately intervene to this issue and extend the all support for saving a life of Ms. Nimisha Priya.
Right, so extending all help is what the External Affairs Ministry has gone on to say, knowing that they're very fully aware of the case and, of course, what has really happened. But take us through, what really is needed as far as Priya's appeal is concerned. That has also been rejected because her release really depends on securing forgiveness from the victim's family and their tribal leaders.
So actually, we understand the negotiation, the discussion with the family is yet to be started. The initial discussions were happening with the tribal leaders there. So still the family is not given any kind of assent, or they did not deny to the offer of this diya money. So we will have to explore that option. That is the final option. If the family is ready to accept the diya money and pardon her, then her life will be saved. If the family says no, then there is no other option. So we are hopeful. We are still hopeful. We can approach that's the final option. So the family can be approached, and the family will be taken. They will consider our request. So and for having this discussion I have already said. Now the difficulty is the prevailing political situation in Yemen. So none of the Indians are allowed to travel to Yemen as per right now. So we need the Indian mission support there, the Ministry of External Affairs support for having the discussion with the family. And once the family is ready, if they are accepting the diya amount, whatever amount they claims, we are ready to raise that as a public fund, and we will be transferring the amount according to their wish.
Right, Mr. Chandran, also, time is of essence here and time seems to be running out because the execution sentence could be as early as within a month's time, according to media reports.
Yeah, exactly. We do understand that. Now the time frame is very, very limited. So 30 days time is there, and we are in a hurry. We are trying all possible ways, and the major stakeholder, the major role can be played by the government of India, the union government. And apart from that, we are trying all the possible ways to taking many individuals or the Indian diasporas on board to resolve this issue. So we are hopeful. We are still hopeful we can save Nimisha Priya's life.
Let's go across to my colleague Mohammad Ghazali, who's joining us with more details on this story. Mohammad Ghazali, as the lawyer of Nimisha Priya, was telling us that all eyes are on the government of India for the help. What is the Ministry of External Affairs saying on this?
See, as the lawyer also rightly pointed out, there are two issues which has made the entire case very complex. One, no Indian is allowed to travel to Yemen because we don't have any diplomatic cover. Even the Rashmi's, the accused's mother, who is facing the jail, the Indian national from Kerala, the nurse, her mother also managed to travel to Kerala only after the intervention of Delhi High Court. The second is that the External Affairs Ministry was negotiating with her lawyer, who was fighting the case in Yemen, through the diplomatic mission in Saudi Arabia, through the embassy officials in Saudi Arabia, from the Saudi government support. Now, the only critical point is that either you pay the death money, or what we call in Arabic qasas. If you pay that blood money, then only and if the family agrees, then the charges will be dropped and she'll be free from there. But the family has asked for some around 40,000 US dollars, which is actually equal to more than 3 crore Indian currency. The family has not been able to even arrange that kind of money. The standoff started when the lawyer who was fighting the case in Yemen for the victim, even that lawyer also demanded extra money. The money was provided by the Indian embassy in Saudi Arabia. But after that, there was a complete standoff between the family of the person who was killed, as well as the lawyer who was fighting the case there. It also became very complex because the area where she has been held up, or she is in prison in Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, that comes under the control of Houthis. We all know what kind of risk Houthis are posing for the maritime security in the Gulf region.
Right.
And we know that Indian Navy and Indian officials were involved in some of the rescue operations against the Houthis.
Right.
So all these geopolitical issues does make it very complex. But we also know earlier this year that how the influence of Prime Minister Modi rescued our 8 ex-naval officers who were also sentenced for spying in Qatar.
That's right.
But the difference is that we recognize Qatar. Qatar is our ally in the Middle East, but we don't recognize Houthis who are governing Yemen right now. So that is where the complexity has put this case very complex, and perhaps Indian government will have to put more pressure on Saudis to find their allies in Yemen, to convince either the family or the government to change its verdict.